Hello there, goblins and ghouls. So, I've got a little bit of an album review kind of thing, or you might just see it as sort of a recommendation. This is Daleks from Filthy Tongue of Gods and Griots. So, I do not know if I'm pronouncing Dalek correctly. It could very well be pronounced in some other manner, but that's how I'm going to pronounce it because I have not heard a different or more proper way to say it. So anyway, I don't really have a whole lot to say about this album. It was, co-produced by MC Dalek, Octopus, and Still. And even though it's an experimental hip hop and industrial hip hop record, it sounds almost like it could have been produced by someone like Nick Launay, and that's probably partly because Dalek does not shy away from using some rock music standard elements, such as having a guitarist. And if you think about it, even though quite a lot in the early stages of hip hop and rap, there were plenty of, rock musicians who saw rap as being entirely separate from rock. But it never really was. I mean, you fairly early on had some rappers who would incorporate guitar sounds in their songs. And I'm even talking about before, Run DMC did the crossover with Aerosmith, and even before the Public Enemy and Anthrax Bring the Noise kind of thing. I think you will always find some hip hop samples that would have little rock guitar parts. And that's pretty understandable because if you're using sampling and you're having music involved, chances are some of the things you're going to incorporate will include some guitar elements, right? But that's not all I have to say here. I think a lot of stuff from this album seems intended to be sort of an artistic manifesto, maybe an activist tool or something like that. And that's also pretty common in hip hop and rap music. Basically, this is pretty far removed from a party record or anything like that. And I think you could still have fun with it while listening to it because anytime you have creative verses or rhymes, you might be able to find some humor in it or something like that. But overall, I would say the tone of this album is a little more on the serious side, and the album contains lyrics that often seem to dabble in descriptions of various deities, myths, maybe goddesses, ancestors, and just sort of random figures, as well as their role in the modern day world. Like you've got the I think it's the opening track, yeah, Spiritual Healing. He at least makes some reference to, different racial dynamics and how they relate to beliefs and different kinds of gods and stuff like that. So, it's there's a little bit of food for thought when it comes to the lyrics of this album. To be honest, I did not really pay that much attention to the lyrics. I should have paid a little more attention, but I will say it is an interesting album, and if you want to take time to sort of dissect what he's saying, obviously could enrich your experience and all that kind of stuff. I do think this has a very rough around the edges kind of vibe, which is partly why it's called industrial hip hop. And I think with numerous sound images, you could get the sense that he's really interested in uh, cross cultural stuff. He's collaborated with different musicians on this album, and there's a bit of a sound collage vibe, but it doesn't sound entirely like that. It does sound like it's a live album in many ways as well. I think that some people would appreciate that aspect. It doesn't sound like it was entirely contrived, although for all I know, it might have been more mapped out. But it almost sounds like there was some room for improv and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, this by no means is the best album review you're going to hear about this album or, any similar artist. I'm not really a very deeply knowledgeable person about rap music or even this artist, but I just wanted to say that this is somebody you might want to look into. And this album, it's a little bit more popular than some people might think. I don't think Dalek is the most underground rapper, on the market, so to speak. And I do think that if you are going to listen to this album, it's good to have the lyrics at the ready so you can better appreciate whatever, the message of the song is, because it seems like this is a sort of artistic statement album in a way. So that's really all I have to say about it. And yeah, have a nice day.